Indeed, Francis, much condemnation coming there from the outgoing Vice-Chancellor and Principal of Wits University. We move to our next story now, condemning the scenes seen at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So that unrest continued at that university today as protesting students blocked campuses and roads. They're protesting against paying 15% of their historical debt before being allowed to register for the current academic year. They've been running battles between students and private security. We invited the university management onto the show, but they were not available. But in this social media post, UKZN said the academic program was continuing on all of its campuses and that police and university security were monitoring the situation. Apologies, we don't seem to have that tweet on air right now. But Sifiso Simelane from UKZN Student Council joins me now on the line. Mr. Simelane, very good evening to you. Thanks very much indeed for your time.
No, thanks very much for giving us time to speak.
All right, so Mr. Simelane, you say that the SRC was not properly communicated with on what you've termed are changes on what was agreed on with the university management. Is that correct?
Yes. What we're saying is that in a meeting that we had with the management, we had agreed with the management that we must first and foremost postpone registration to 6 March. 2, what we're supposed to also transfer is that we're supposed to suspend the academic program until 24, because 24 February, it's a council meeting. Since the university management had said they can't take decisions based on some of its issues, 15%, historical debt, financial clearance. So we said that don't open the university. Continue suspending academic programs until the meeting 24 with the council has resolved some of these issues. But Saturday, just around about 3:30, the email was circulated saying that the academic programs are going to resume. And the next day, students were so angry and that transpired from Monday, even today. Students have been protesting on campuses. And to correct one thing, for the university to say that academic programs are resuming normal, it's a lie. Because here in our college, there were even lecturers are not coming to lecture students. Students are not coming to classes. Students are being intimidated by other students not to attend.
Mr. Simelane, we'll get to that and exactly what's taking place, I believe, to be seen at the Westville campus today. I mean, you say that the university should also recommit itself to concessions it had made, that, those who come from families with income less than 350,000 Rand should not be made to pay that 15,000 of their debt before registering.
Yes, but it's part of the condition that we made that because it's in line with the PHET guidelines to say that students who is family income below 350 annually, those students, they should just sign an OT and proceed. Even the minister proclaimed that. Even the minister did highlight that. But the University of KwaZulu-Natal is adamant that students must pay regardless of your financial spending, because we've got 3 categories here that we've classified.
Yeah.
It's 350,000, below 350,000. We've got 350,000 to 600,000, the missing link. Then we've got above 600,000. So there are 3 categories. The categories that we're saying the university must not compromise on is the categories of the 250 below. But the university is literally refusing to implement the resolution. But
all right.
Still want students to pay 15% and also pay the registration fee.
Mr. Simelane, let's just take a look at this tweet. I'm hoping you're near your television set. And this was about 5-6 hours ago where the university had said that all its programs were continuing as normal. You've alluded to that. And that police were brought in and university security are currently monitoring the situation there. I know part of what you've been asking for is for the university to extend the registration period to the 15th of March 2020. How can you ask for an extension, yet the very disruptions that are taking place under your watch?
Yes, to confirm that. The reason why we asked for extension is because there was issues with disruption and chaos that had occurred on campus. We had then said that because even staff members, some of them, they were on holidays, they were not even around. There was an issue of load shedding. There was an issue of chaos on campuses. There was an issue of burning of buildings on campuses. Well, then said, no, these are disruptions and so many students have been affected. So the best way to deal with the situation is that, and to make up for the lost time, you postpone to 6 March for registration, of which the investment manager agreed to.
But Mr. Simelane, you're asking for time, yet the ongoing struggle at the university is still taking place. You're condemning the university for allowing the academic program to go ahead. You're saying that should not be the case until your issues have been sorted out. On the one hand, you're asking for an extension to a registration period, yet there is still unrest on the university campus itself.
It tells you that the university is using the wrong method to address the issues. Suspending academic programs was not even, because when they did initially suspend academic programs, we released our statement. We said we don't agree with it because it does not address the issues that students have mentioned. It does not address the issues of financial clearance. It does not address the issues of fixed debt. It does not address the issues of proper accommodation. So the university initially implemented the wrong plan to deal with this issue. So now, you can't say that now because you've suspended academic programs, you've dealt with these issues. We have said that that's wrong because we are not dealing with the fundamental issues.
But are you not concerned? Are you not concerned that the academic year has started? There are many students who will be left falling behind. And I also wanted to address disturbing scenes that we've also seen at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. You've had bins being tippled over. You've had, scenes where the bins themselves have been burnt on campus, and allegations that one of the professors was beaten up today. How do you justify that?
Okay, we are really concerned because the academic year is a begin, but I will tell you who's at fault here. The management is at fault because the management has failed to take decisions. By the way, some of these issues, we started discussing them last year. So you can't tell me that up until now it's January and February, it's the beginning of academic year, there's been no progress. Let me tell you, in UKZN, we've got what you call there's a meeting it's a workshop, a meeting that plans for registration. These issues were discussed and people promised that they are going to implement. So whoever is responsible, the management was supposed to say that who is responsible for this. We've identified people who were responsible for some of these decisions, but no one took decisions, no one implemented anything. But we are concerned because there are students who are writing their special exams. They're finished, they need to graduate April. There are students that need to graduate September. They need to start and submit now. So
and that's not going to happen, Mr. Simelane, sorry, just before we run out of time, that's not going to happen as long as the unrest continues at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Are you taking responsibility for any of the violence that has been seen on campus?
No, as the SABC, we don't agree with violence. We've distanced ourselves from it. We are clear that we don't agree with it. But what we are saying is that before we can look into that, let us look at the source of this violence. I'm not justifying violence. I'm not justifying eruptions. I'm not justifying burning of buildings.
So who is responsible for the violence on campus, Mr. Simelane?
We don't know who's responsible because we can't choose and we can't just conclude by saying that it's students or who, because even police are brutal towards students. So it can't be that we are going to take the blame to students. The people who are responsible for this is the executive management that has failed to take decisions. So we must not shy away from that. Because let me tell you, by the way, the executive management can't even decide on a simple issue. The issue of 350 that is communicated by the Department of Higher Education. And you want to tell me that a management that defines higher education is going to be able to resolve some of these issues. So the problem, the source problem is that the university implemented one. They used the wrong formula to deal with these issues by suspending academic programs. But they did not deal with the issues at hand. They just they fumbled from there. Two, the chaos that you see on campus. It's because the issues that are at hand have not been addressed, and we are saying, "Come, let's address them in that meeting 24." So for time being, for the safety of students, for the safety of the professors, for the safety of the buildings in the campuses, suspend activities on campuses. And let us deal with the matters Monday, 24, because that meeting is crucial. By the way, the council is the highest board that takes decisions in institutions. And here we've convened our own council.
Mr. Simelane,
They are taken by the council. So the council must account.
Mr. Simelane, we're fast running out of time. You're distancing yourself from the violence that has taken place at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. But are you not concerned that perhaps there could be students who could be arrested? I mean, we've got incidents relating to Bongikosi Kanyile as well as Kanya Tegeshe, which are fresh in the minds of South Africans. Are you not concerned at all about that? Because you're also accusing police of being quite heavy-handed in dealing with these issues.
Yes, we are really concerned, but as we're saying that we don't want to rule out that the students who are doing these things, who are burning buildings, who are doing so forth and so on, we don't want to rule that out. We don't want to we are saying that it could be, we don't know who was the source, and we've made it clear that we are asking RMS, risk management, to investigate, and whoever is responsible, then the university must then deal with them internally. But we are really concerned, and that's why we are always preaching this thing to students that we don't agree with violence, we don't agree with burning of buildings. That's why I've always preached for a peaceful protest. That's why you've never seen any or heard an incident whereby a student is taken to hospital because a student is hurt or something. So we always, by all means that we try to tell students that we don't agree with violence and so forth. And we always try to guide the situation when we're on campuses. When they are marching, we always try to guide them, and we have assembled teams that always guide them, lead them, they don't lead themselves. So we're really concerned about that. And by the way, the manner in which police and the manner in which the courts in South Africa are dealing with students, it does not assist because it further perpetuates the situation. There's no way that we're going to say, I don't know how many students have been arrested now in UKZN, charged with public violence, police assault, but when we open cases against police who assault students, no one attends to it. So you see, the problem is brought here. I heard the outgoing Vice Chancellor of that speaking. The time for rhetoric is over. The manner in which the state is dealing with these cases of students, there is no way. We've just made a classical example now with Bongikosi Kanyile and others. It's something that we should be ashamed of South Africa about, because these are the students fighting for their own rights, fighting for the rights that the former President Jacob Zuma implemented, announced. Again, when President Cyril Ramaphosa in 2018 reaffirmed and committed that the government is going to implement in 2018 in the State of the Nation address. But the manner in which we are being treated as students in this country, it does not reflect on what the ANC fought for.
Sifiso Simelane.
We are members of the ANC, and we are saying that we are going to challenge the ANC. We are going to challenge the ANC and we'll vote for the ANC, but we're members of the ANC. The ANC must believe us education.
Sifiso Simelane, unfortunately, that's all we have time for. Thank you very much indeed for chatting to us here on The Full View. UKZN Student Council President General there. And we had invited the university management, but they were not available. But taking a look at a tweet earlier that sent out on social media indicating that the academic program at that university is continuing.